started it again, so we're here. Okay, so I want to, just to refresh, I need to really work on joint mobility and range of movement. I'm keen to have a look at how our shoulders are working well and see if we can work on the areas around the shoulders. So lots of spinal rotation, lots of pelvic floor engagement as well. Just going back to basics always, because it's, you know, that's the beautiful thing about Pilates. It's about that re-engagement. So, and that constant refreshing, that it's really easy to forget. Okay, so out of the arches of your feet, I want you to lift them up. So think about the inside edges of your feet and draw them inward and upward. So what happens by putting that little arch lift in, this engagement, the spiral comes around your legs and comes up into the center of your pelvic floor. What that looks like is when we start to lift up and spiral, the butt cheeks create tension and it's almost like the front of your hips open up slightly. That's what I'm looking for, if that makes sense. So by lifting up through the arches, there's a general pull and external rotation that goes on through the hips, and this is really getting that full engagement of the pelvic floor before we get going. Keep coming back to that each time. So arches lift, think about the inner thigh constantly here. And then as we think about the inner thigh, we squeeze through the butt, open up the hips and keep drawing that tension upwards and onwards through to the crown of the head. So we're lifting long, chin back, shoulders back and down. And then what I'd like you to do is to take your hands to the front and then roll your hands round to the back of your thighs. Come forward to the front and then right the way round to the back of the thighs. Now this is simply just getting a measure of shoulder mobility without lifting your chest too much. So just think about swinging the shoulder blades together so they kiss together, and then stretching the shoulder blades wide so the front of your shoulders start to come in. So just going out and in. When you bring your shoulders together and the shoulder blades kiss together, I want you to give me that extra inch and think about what's going on into the middle of the back. Squeezing it together, right the way around, big stretch, right the way around, squeeze the shoulders together and then release. Now let's have a look at lifting and twisting. Like a figure of 8, but with your shoulders, your waist from your knees, from the soles of your feet. We're lifting. So there's a rotation. So think about, rather than elbows, let the shoulder do the work. Okay, so take out your elbows, no hands, no arms, let the shoulder lift the whole of the arm. There you go. Now make it bigger. So down and up, other side down and up. Try not to overthink it, because as soon as you start overthinking it, it suddenly gets really complicated. Okay, notice how your hips are swinging and notice any tension coming into your back. I'm just going to ditch the microphone in my ear, that buzzing is. There you go. So you can see it's the whole of my body. The idea behind this is start to bring in the lats early. So big muscles in your back, we're bringing them into play and into rotation early. So this is predominantly back, less arms, if that makes sense. Let the back and the rotators of the body do the work. Okay, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. Okay, let's think about the feet now. So just walk through it. Can we ditch the subtitle for me, please, Owen? So if we're lifting, I want you to lift the heel, big and second toe. So it's really interesting because my feet are uncomfortable. They're quite sore at the moment. Put some real effort in the ball of the foot, big toe, second toe, and it's the inside edge of the foot lifting. You'll know if you're rolling to the outside edges of the foot. So I can actually see that on camera. So really focus on the inside edge of the heel, inside edge of the arch, inside edge of the toes. Okay, now I'm alternating, rising and lowering. And by doing this, we're thinking about and noticing heels and range in ankles, range of movement that is in ankles. And what we know, as we age, we lose that range. So try now for the last few, giving me depth. Focusing on keeping the whole foot down. Lovely. And then shake it off, because already you might be feeling a little bit breathless as a result of that. Okay, so, and then finally, before we come towards the floor, the roller is just a nice little tool to help you with your balance. I want us to work here on the hamstring, so back of thigh muscle into the bottom. So notice flat feet, feet wide, and start to push your bottom backwards, but just shift your weight slightly right side to left side. And what you might notice is quite the stretch through the back of the leg. Okay, so by doing this side to side, you might be stretching out of the knee. Allow for a rotation now. So your upper body is stretched. Have a cheeky look under each shoulder as you shift your weight to the right, shift to the left, and you're welcome. So you might be starting to feel that in the back, and I'm looking for a flat back rather than arch. So try and sink, let that chest go. As you move side to side, cheeky look under your armpits, cheeky look under your armpits. Now, settle in the centre. All I want you to do is to come forward onto your toes and then back onto your heels. You may not move very far. You may feel that you're hanging on for dear life with your toes. But it's a little shift of weight and energy, and not to mention the pressure that's building up in your shoulders. Okay, roll up through the back. Keep your hands on the roller, chin to chest, and enjoy that stretch. So you are chin to chest, knees slightly bent, feet wide, and just pushing your back away. Okay, the opposite now is to slowly bring your chest forward and look up. Stick out your booty, chin up. Slowly roll through that again. That always makes me go, when I do that, I get that little tickle. So chin to chest, round out through the back. Do what you need to here. So if you need to have a slightly different rounding shape through the back and a sway, bring it on. Pulling your belly inwards, lifting up through your arches. And then once again, bring your chest forward. Eye gaze forward, eye gaze upward, stick your tail out. Okay, have a little wiggle, wiggle, jiggle, wiggle, jiggle, wiggle, jiggle, wiggle, jiggle. Well done. Okay, so lay the roller down. Let's do a quick massage along the spine. So when we're into position, the roller's long ways on your yoga mat. Perch your bottom at the one end, lie all the way back. So your head is on the top end, your feet nice and wide. Okay, and then the first thing we want to do here, feet nice and wide, just drop one knee into the center and then the other. So feet wide, but feet quite close towards the roller. So we're not going stretching them forward, they're tucked back. So nice and wide, one knee comes in. Enjoy that in the hip flexor, enjoy that in the knee, and then the other side. So what you might notice is a gorge stretch down the front of the thigh, okay? And then it's okay if you want to slightly roll side to side at the same time. Well done, my darlings. feet wider if you can. Drop one knee in. Reset. I don't know if the video is frozen on Chris there. I'm just checking that she's okay. Right, okay. Right, come back to center. Now we're going to put some focus on massaging through and up the spine. So the next thing I need you to do is to tuck your bottom under, soles of the feet flat into the ground, and lift your bottom a little bit. So you should feel your shoulder blades squeeze in onto the roller at the top, yeah? So your bottom's lifted, there's space underneath your bum. Okay, now let it down. Settle your spine long ways down on the roller. Take your arms up towards the ceiling. Drop your shoulder blades so it pinches the roller, and then send your fingers high towards the ceiling. So it's a straight arm. Pinch the shoulder blades onto the roller. Stretch your hands high. So there's a little pinch and a little stretch. Little pinch. Now from here, take your hands onto the opposite shoulders and hold on. So you've got lovely crisscross of your arms, or a Cossack, you know, hands high. And then I want you to shift your body weight to one side and then the other. Now, if you want to go large on this and add in bigger rotations, use the whole body. So what we're doing here, because your hands are folded onto the front of your shoulders, you're getting into the smaller muscles underneath the shoulder blades. So I really want you to enjoy how your shoulder blades are feeling. Any sweet spots that might be addressing. Slow really gets into those sweet spots. And the opposite here is to take your hands wide and let them palm up, float out to the side, and again roll side by side. So you're getting more on top of the shoulder. You might start to feel that in the front of the chest. Okay, lovely. And now, from there, just relax your hands to the ground, palms down, elbows slightly bent. Feet tucked quite close to your bum. Okay, lift your hips all the way to the top of the movement. So, when we started the session today, you're going to stay up there with the butt clenched. When we started the session today, I talked to you about spiraling up from the arch of your feet. Think about that now. So as your hips and bottoms lifted, squeeze the bottom a little higher so you really feel that tension on through the buttocks. Knees wide, lay your spine down. Draw your knees in together. Separate your knees, tuck your tail under so you feel all of your spine on the roller, and start to lift up into a bridge. All the way, squeezing your butt tight at the top. Think about the inner thighs. Feel the hamstrings engage. Lay the spine back down. Well done. Okay, so from here we are going to dismount. We're not quite done. We're taking the roller underneath the small of your back, the middle of your back. So your shoulder blades, so this is just a bit of spinal mobility, okay? So bear with me. What I'm looking for here, and we're all shaped differently, what I'm looking for is a folding over and a pulling back. So we're just rocking the spine slowly, slowly over and back. Now, some of you might be going, which is kind of normal. The idea is looking at that flexibility and looking at spinal extension, so the head is coming backwards, allowing your head to drop. Now, I recognise this isn't fun for some of us. Take your time, slowly, slowly feel your body weight on the roller. Now we're going to do this a few more times. If you want to, add in your arms. And this is when it becomes quite strong and intense. So do what is comfortable for you, okay? What if you had straighter legs? What if your heels weren't so close to your bottom? How would that feel? You don't have to use your hands if you don't want to, but all of this is just about seeing where the stretch is, and this helps us to release out the front of our abdominals. Okay, when you're ready, settle backwards with your chin towards the ceiling, looking, so your nostrils are exposed to the sky. Okay, when you're ready, we slowly roll up. We take the roller backwards. You can hear it in my voice. And then what I'd like is the roller underneath the back of your head, top of your neck. For a moment, we are rolling our heads from the right side to the left side. So what you have here is the back of the skull. You've got some really strong muscles that attach to the back of the skull. And what you may notice is that actually as you come onto the side, under the massage, it can be a little tender. So again, if you find that sweet spot and you want to give it a massage, try and circle a little bit or just apply a bit of additional pressure. You're welcome. Well done. And then release, relax. Take the roller out of play. So hold on to the blue roller. Now again, I recognise this isn't for everyone, so bear with me on this team. Okay, so the hands are holding the flat edges of your roller. So just holding this position might be a bit of a challenge. You might feel that in the chest. Keep your arms and your elbows on the floor. Lift the roller up and over and then back again. So the only joint action feels like it's at the elbows, but it's not, it's actually the shoulders. So I'm asking for a 90-degree angle at the elbows. That's all right, Nick? We okay? Chris, we all right? Work within your natural range. Okay. So this time, leave the roller overhead, stretch it higher. So that involves straightening at the elbows, taking the roller towards the ceiling, bending the elbows until they touch the floor, send the roller overhead. Stretch at the elbows overhead, take the roller up towards the sky, bend the elbows, draw the roller towards your chest, and then once again onto the floor. Slide it away, send it up towards the ceiling, bend the elbows, and then back again. So it's a nice little combo here. Notice what is talking to you with your body. Notice which muscles. Is there balance here with repetition? Is there fatigue? Is there something that is just not feeling good or comfortable? Okay, last time. And then we just rest the roller onto our underneath our chest, top of our ribs. Got it? Okay, it's just rested there because now we are thinking about core and legs. So we're going to lift up one leg. Press your hands into the roller as it is. This will just help to switch on some more of those stabilizing muscles. Leg comes down, switch side. Leg comes down, switch sides. Okay. Leg comes down, switch sides. That's nice, isn't it? Right. Now watch. That leg is going to go low and in and high and in. Low and in, and high and in. Got it? So we go low towards the skirting board, pull back, knee towards the roller now, stretch out high. Bring the thigh, touching the roller, send the leg out low. Thigh touches roller. So you should feel a contraction coming on here into your core. You should feel a bit of effort and energy going on into the thigh and to the leg. Now, here we go. Quickly. 1, stretch, touch, stretch, touch, stretch, touch, stretch. Think about the inner thigh. So try not to let that knee flop and dangle. Last time. And touch down. Lovely. Other side. Up, up. Right, here we go. So slowly send the leg out long towards the skirting board, in towards the chest, straight up high. So we go 1 and 2. 1. So each time you do this, I want the thigh, top of knee, to touch the blue roller. Think inner thigh. Now we're going to pick up the pace. Go. Good. Keeping that combo. 4 more. 3, 2. I don't know about you, but I feel quite fatigued from that. Well done. Feet down, soles of the feet together, drop the knees out wide. Okay. Right, so well done everyone. Take the roller, lift your hips, pop the roller under your hips. So your bottom is on there. Now if the roller's too high, you'll feel quite domed in your abdomen. So think about your tail. And a really good tip is to hold on, either hands cupping around the roller at the top or gripping on the flat of the roller on the ends. Okay, so once we've got into position, now we bring up leg 1, leg 2. You might need to adjust a second time. Think about shins parallel to ceiling. From here, brace through your abdominals. Send one leg out and in. Out and in. Well done. That feels quite nice, right? When the leg goes out, take the heel long. Again, skirting board height. And think about what's going on with your abdominals. So I want you to think about the tension. Try not to cave. Be strong here. Strong alignment. Now we're going to pick it up again. So here we go. 20. Yes, I said that. 19. 18. 10 to go. 10, 9, 8. Arch of inner thigh. Think about the inner thighs. 2, last time. Well done. Oh, whew, that was quite strong, wasn't it? Okay, send your feet towards the ceiling. Flex your feet. Keep your heels connected. Okay, so we are going to start by taking 2 pulses towards your face. It goes like this. 1, 2, and then we're stretching forward, point the toes, pull back in, flex feet, 2 pulses, 1, 2. Send the heels forward, squeeze through the inner thigh, point the toes now, pull back in. Good job, flex the feet, pulse 2. Stretch forward, go a bit lower and deeper if you want to. Point your toes now, brace through your abdominals, pull it all in, flex feet, pulse, 1, 2. Send your heels away from your body, brace through your center. Point toes, pull in. Okay, pump 2. Send it away, brace through your abdominals, squeeze your inner thighs. Point toes, pull it all back in. Last time, 2 pulses, 1, 2. Send the whole thing away. Point toes, bring it all in, knees into chest, and slowly bring your feet down onto the ground. Whew, allow your knees to drop away. That felt nice, didn't it? Yes, yes? Okay, so we're gonna feet flat on the floor, lift the hips, bring the spine to the floor, and when you're ready, we're going to roll the roller forward. If you want to use this time to grab a little drink. Okay. So I'm going to start with my feet wide and the roller sits on the arches of my feet. And I'm just for a moment pressing the arches into the roller. So my focus is only through the arches of my feet. So by pressing down through the roller, I get to start to lift my hips and low back. But my focus is only in the arches of my feet. Now, feet come closer, we're in neutral. I want you to only think about the inside edges of feet, calves, inner thigh, up into the top of your thighs, okay? That's your only focus. As you rise, and then lower. Squeeze butt, rise, press into the arches, lower the spine down. Release. So it is a bridge, but the focus is the inner thigh. I don't know about you guys, but it is a little bit shaky, isn't it, in the movement? So we're squeezing and lifting, lowering. 2 more of these. Press down, really press those arches into the roller. Last time. Your hamstring should be smarting a little bit. Yes or no? Good, okay. Take your legs, stretch your roller forward and give yourself a moment. Roll your ankles. Lovely, well done team. Okay, so we are rolling onto our sides into your sleeping like a princess position. So if I'm on a super king size bed, this is me hanging off the edge of my bed because I've got to make space for not 1 but 2 dogs and a husband. So this is me hanging off the side of my bed like that. Okay, so first things first, let's address what's going on into the hip. So I want us to have flexed feet to start with today. Your shins will line up on the front of your yoga mat and we're going to open and close. Now, as you do this, if your hips are stacked, you should feel quite restricted in the range of movement here. Okay, and that's deliberate, okay? So in the first phase, hips have to be stacked. So we open and close. Now we're going to stay open and pulse, pulse. As you do this, this is a small range of movement, 2 to 3 inches each time, but the hips have to be on top of each other. Think about starting to brace through your abdominals. Pulse, pulse, pulse. We're not done. Up and hold. Extend that top lifted knee. So by stretching that top lifted knee forward, you're facing it towards me. The knee is slightly drifting upwards, and we pulse again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and stop. Send the entire leg down to the center of your yoga mat. Your alignment should be beautiful here. Your hips nice and stacked, your waist connected, you feel tight and engaged. Here we pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and stop. Take the whole leg backwards. So you're going back. So now you should feel a squeeze of your butt cheeks. Same thing. Pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Stay. Now the whole leg is going to come right the way forward, right the way forward, right the way forward, right the way forward, and it's going to swing all the way back, back, back. Squeeze the butt cheeks. So it's staying in a fixed pathway. Hips are staying still. Abdominals brace. Squeeze through your buttocks. Take your time with this. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Come back to center. Down through the center of your yoga mat. Turn your toe down, your heel is up towards the ceiling. Now with me, we're going to bring the leg forward. The toe is going to touch the ground. The heel's coming up towards the ceiling. The toe is going to touch the ground behind you. You're welcome. We lift, we bring it forward, touch. Lift, take it backwards, touch. And we're going to continue to do this until you start crying. Are we good? It's nice, isn't it? I like this. That's because I'm on my good side. Well done. 4 more, and 3, and 2. Last time. Well done. Ooh. Rest your knee. Okay, take your top hand, press it into the mat. Come up into a seated position. And use this moment to have a quick drink. Because we're going to flip over and do the other side. Because I'm a menopausal woman, I couldn't remember that if I waited. So we'll flip over and just do it straight away. Okay. Off camera. Sipping a cold drink. Right. So we're lying down. Think about the alignment again. So for good alignment, we're looking at 90 degree at the knees, shins lining up at the front of your yoga mat. You've cupped your head, nestled your head into your ears. Lovely jubbly, and that's our starting position. Okay, flex the feet, that's the important thing here. The heels remain connected, the toes will open and close. So if you're using the whole of your body in this movement, you're not going to really get the benefit. What I'm looking for is restriction. So don't let the hip open and you roll onto your bottom. I need you to keep your hips stacked. So use your hand there for a bit of feedback, open and close. I can feel my spine clunking. Is it saying, no, let's cheat? Keep opening and closing. Opening and closing. Well done, lovely people. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Lovely. Okay. Now, from here, we open and stay open. Your top leg is going to come forward, so the knee is straight and just slightly turned out, but the hips remain stacked, and we pulse. Oh yeah, there you go. Much harder this side for me. The other side was like, can't really feel it. This side is like, oh, I'm dying, I'm dying. Okay, and here we are, we pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, well done. Take the leg, so all the way down to the center of your yoga mat, and we pulse again for 10. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 and 3 and 2, and hold. Take the whole leg back a few more inches. Lovely. Same thing, pulse. So that will feel slightly different here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. We're going to take the whole leg right the way forward as far as we can without disturbing the hip alignment, and then we're going to swing it back as far as we can without disturbing the hip alignment. So try not to rock a tot with your upper body. Keep equal and balanced throughout this entire movement. So it's all about the hip flexion and extension here. You may have a couple of little spots that are going, oh, that's okay, we're nearly through. Oh, it's lush, isn't it? Right, and then from there, hold it, hold it, hold it, toe down, heel up. Same thing, the toe is going to touch down in front of you, it's going to lift up and it's going to lift behind you, but the toe is going to touch down. Okay, so we lift and we touch down, and we lift and we touch down. Good, good. Try not to disturb what's going on in the trunk. Well done. Nice and high, you get that lovely lift. Last time. Knee down, relax. Whew. Push up with your hand, and we're up into a seated position just for a moment. How are we doing, team? Good stuff. Right, rollers coming back into play. I want to do a bit of work with wrists, elbows, shoulders. In the first place, this is nothing to do with the rest of the body. This is all to do with the wrists and wrist care. Okay, so we are looking for hands relatively close together in a neutral alignment. So everything pointing forward. Thumbs also pointing forward for the first part. As you would the arches of your feet, I want you to think about pulling up through the index finger and thumbs, just so you feel this engagement coming up through the inner arm and possibly into the chest. This is the first bit. All I want you to do is come forward a little and back a little. So, but put all the pressure through the index finger and thumb, pulling up through the arches of your hands. It's right, isn't it? Okay, so that's position one. Now what we're going to do is allow for a circular movement. So we're taking the hips forward and around into a circle and then reverse. Does that make sense? What will happen with your hands, your weight will shift around the edges of your hands as your whole body circles. Now, if you want to, you can start to lift up through the back and use the whole of the spine to wiggle and jiggle a bit like a cat as you make these circles. And again, this is just getting into a couple of those sweet spots. The other thing that's happening, you're on your knees, so I'm just trying to get some movement around the knee joint too. Okay, well done, and release. Sit back, bottom onto heels if you can. Got it? Right, okay. Curl toes under heels if you can, and all we're doing is shifting back the weight. So this bit is something that's just coming out of the Pilates classes that we've previously taught you. This is just shifting weight and allowing that movement into your toes and arches of your feet. We don't do this enough, and as we age, there tends to be a reduction of mobility here. So it is important to keep kind of working on this or coming back to it, even if it's for moments. recognizing we work to the point of pain, not through pain, and allowing for that lovely stretch in the toes. Okay, now relax your feet, sit back for a moment. What I'd like us to do, so I'm just going to adjust my position so you can see me. What I'd like us to do is to work on sending the chest forward and then sending the chin upwards, okay? So as we sit with our bottom on our heels, I'm looking for chest lift, squeeze shoulder blades, eye gaze upwards, and then reset. Hands slide up your thighs as you do this. So it's an opening of the chest, and it's also a sticky outie of the hips and bottom. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. What does the opposite of that look like? Okay, let's repeat this a bit more. Lovely. Okay, so far so good. Come back onto all fours just for a moment. This time your feet come slightly wider and just rock your hips side to side, okay? This is all progressive stuff. It'll all make sense soon, I promise. Okay, toes connect, knees nice and wide, elbows down onto the top of the roller. Drop your head. Roll the roller so you become upright, downwards, all the time massaging through the arms. Now, first few times you do this, palms down towards the ground. Then I'd like you to come onto the side edges, so it's the side of your forearms, like hands like blades. But what you might notice here is tension around the low back and spine. So as you send your arms forward, try to keep your bottom quite close to your heels if you can. Applying more pressure, so as the head drops, you push the arms down into the roller just to increase that range in the shoulder. Again, I recognise this might be uncomfortable for some, so this is finding the thing that is working well for you. Okay, now we're going to come back up. Lovely. Now what I'd like us to do from here is to take your leg closest to me forward around the roller. Okay, we're just going to come forward and back. Think about the inside arch, inner thigh. Just come forward and backwards just for a moment, okay? Oh, that was my knee clicking. Lovely. Okay, take the foot back, bring the other foot around. Whoop. Okay, forward and back. This just helps to release the knees off because we have been on the knees for a little while, so you might feel this is quite a nice thing, or to start with a stiff thing. Okay, when you're ready, we take that leg back around. Okay, so as always with all of these classes, there comes to a bit of a climax. So what we're trying to do here now, hands slightly wider than neutral, toes curled under, and we're going to look to lift the knees off the floor for a few moments. So let's try that. Knees hover for 10, 9, 8, brace abs. Knees down, relax feet, sit back, catch breath. We're going to do that again. So when you're ready, think about the support in your hands. Curl toes under heels. And when you're ready, we lift for 10, 9, brace, brace. Using your breath, try not to drop the head, maintaining good alignment. And when you're ready, knees down, relax feet, push back. Two options here, and this comes about confidence. Option one is to create downward dog from the roller. So lifting the knees and pushing back. If you find this is too much, come onto the floor, ditch the roller, same thing, just come back. So I'm really going to give this up to you. One, you'll be shaky. The other one, you'll feel a little bit more stable. Okay, hold it there. Knees down. Well done. Well done. Okay, ditch the roller, roll it away. Spread your fingers, curl toes under heels, and stretch in full down dog. Okay, from here, we're going to create a wave and ripple the body all the way forward until we're in plank. Geez, I didn't think I could do that. Take a breath in, push up through the shoulders, and push back. If you need a break at all, please take it. We come forward into plank, brace, push back. Come forward into plank. Think about your inner thigh. So if you want to bring your feet closer together, please do. We have about 5 more of these to go. Well done, team. Try not to drop the hips too much. 2 more to go. Last time. Well done. Knees come down. Sit up, roll out, rests. Well done. Feel okay? That should be fairly intense. That all came to like big climax. Okay, so watch me. So my outside leg is the forward leg. Got it? Watch me. So I'm twisting and coming down and coming up and over. So essentially, my elbow closest to the wall is creating and drawing a full circle. So I'm trying not to talk because we have a lot to think about here. That's a lot of balance, right? And he was like, hate that. Well done. Okay. Switch sides. It's the elbow closest to the wall. So I've literally turned 180 degrees. I'm coming down, up. And the reason why I've moved towards a wall here is that I can really work with my range of movement. It helps me. I can't cheat as much as I'd like. It totally throws your balance. So this is not only a stretch, it's some vestib stuff, so ear balance stuff at the same time. Well done. We will be progressing this movement over the coming weeks. Remember how you're feeling today, because it is going to improve. Okay, well done, guys. So to finish with some relaxation, options are to sit or to lie. I'm going to stay seated today. That's how I'm feeling. And I think as I was driving into work this morning, I was thinking about our stress world that we're living in. I was thinking about managing my own stress better and having some time out just to do a bit of breathing. This is, the science tells us we have some time out each day just for a few moments to focus on firstly breath, because sometimes we're breathing quite high up into the top of the chest. We need to really get that breath to move down. Okay, so, and that's a good marker. So start by resting a hand up on your chest. Notice where your breathing is. Take your second hand onto your belly. Now we've come out of a couple of stressed exercises, so your breath will shift. So I want you to focus the breath moving and transitioning out of your higher chest and more like the breath is moving down and coming naturally into your belly. So that's the important thing. Just notice and see if you can move the muscles. See if you can just change where that breathing is activating from. And as you do this, you think about the length of the neck, drawing your chin backwards. Notice your shoulders melting and dropping as your breathing reaches deeper and lower into your abdomen. And if you feel confident that you've shifted your breathing down into your abdomen, take one hand away, keep the other hand rested on your abdomen. And that is just noticing feedback of the body. Noticing where that breath is landing each time. Let's see if we can take any tension away from your jawline. Try and relax into your face. And then take away your other hand. So both hands are just relaxed at your sides if you're in seated, or just let them float on the floor wherever they land. I want you to notice your feet and toes. Relaxation. Stress around your knees. And just notice how your body is responding to your breathing. That is the bit that we need to focus on. How your body responds to your breathing. And when you focus on only this bit, the breath connection, this is helping us to manage stress that we unconsciously hold in our bodies. So we're nailing the breathing bit, right? What about the self-care, the words of kindness to ourselves? Reminding ourselves that we're good people with open hearts and open minds, working on ourselves to improve our wellness. And it's the journey. Celebrating what you've achieved and knowing that these are all stepping stones to reduce frailty, improve health, and on a cellular level, honouring yourself like this enriches and creates more happy hormones, serotonin and dopamine to your body. All the good stuff. So the next thing and final thing here is set an intention. So planning your day in your head where self-care is important. Managing your stress, your fatigue, and your happiness. And it starts from you. Taking a long breath in Big fat sigh out. Long breath in. Big fat sigh out. Create movement to your fingers and hands. Movement to your feet, knees. Think about your back, your shoulders, whatever it looks like. Large breath. Feel the shoulders come up to your ears. Exhale, let it all sink away. Breath in. Breath out. Arms out wide. Squeeze your shoulder blades. And then give yourselves an awesome big round of applause. Well done. Now that was a bit of a sneaky sesh. What you might notice is some weird core stuff that will be activated as a result, particularly the leg extension work we did today. So that was a bit sneaky, and for that I'm truly not sorry, because you'll be thanking me but one day, but not today or tomorrow or the day after. Well done, team. How are you?